Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are fit and fine and taking care of your health at home. Today I am here to teach you fifth chapter of civics, that is our judiciary. So let's start the chapter. The judiciary. Students, we know that India is a democratic country and our country India has adopted the parliamentary system of government. In parliamentary system of government, it has three organs: the legislature, the executive and the judiciary. In this chapter, we will study about the third organ of the government, that is the judiciary. The legislature frames the law and the executive implements them. The judiciary ensures that people adhere to the law, and if there is a dispute, it is resolved according to the laws of the country. The judiciary also protects the rights of the people. We have studied earlier also in our earlier classes also, and we know that rule of law is one of the basic feature of our democracy, and the success of the rule of law depends on the independence of the judiciary. It means every person can only be treated equally in the eyes of the law if the custodian of the law, that is the judiciary, can take independent decisions according to the laws of the country and is not intimidated or influenced by any other organs of the government. Three branches of the government, that is the legislative, executive and the judicial or the judiciary. Legislative, what it makes the laws. Executive, it administers the law, and the judiciary, it interprets the law. One feature of Indian judiciary is that our judiciary is independent judiciary. Independence of the judiciary means that the executive and the legislature cannot influence the functioning and the decision of the judiciary. The Constitution has ensured the independence of the judiciary through a number of measures. Say for example, the judges do not belong to any political party, or to become a judge, he must be a lawyer. He or she also have certain qualifications also, or he or she must not have any kind of the political influence. Secondly, the position of a judge is permanent. Once a judge is appointed, he holds the position till his retirement period. He cannot be removed arbitrarily. But if the judges they are misusing their power, the parliament can remove them through the process called the impeachment. And the judiciary is also not financially dependent on the either executive or the legislature. So neither the legislature nor the executive decides the remuneration of the judges. This is our judiciary. And the Indian judicial system includes Supreme Court, High Courts, District Courts, Civil Courts, Criminal Courts, Revenue Courts and Nyaya Panchayat. Supreme Court works at the central level, High Courts at the state level, District Court, Civil Court, Criminal Courts and Revenue Courts at the district level, and Nyaya Panchayats at the village level. So let us study about all these courts in detail. The first is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the guardian of the Constitution and the highest court of appeal. The jurisdiction, functions and responsibilities of the Supreme Courts are defined by the Constitution. It consists of a Chief Justice and not more than 25 judges. Every judge of the Supreme Court shall be appointed by the President. Composition of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is headed by the Chief Justice of Supreme Court, also known as the Chief Justice of India. He is assisted by 30 Supreme Court judges. If required, Parliament can increase the number of Supreme Court judges to clear the pending cases. So the composition of Supreme Court is that one Chief Justice of India, and along with him there are more 30 judges of the Supreme Court judges. Qualifications. To become the judge of the Supreme Court, a person needs to have the following qualifications. First, he or she must be a citizen of India. He or she must have at least 10 years experience as an advocate or 5 years experience as High Court judge. He or she may have been a member of distinguished juries. Tenure. The judges of the Supreme Court retire at the age of 65. If they misuse their power, they can be removed before by the Parliament by a process which is called impeachment. Our next topic is powers of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has a wide range of functions. Its powers can be broadly categorized as original jurisdiction, appellate jurisdiction, advisory jurisdiction, special jurisdiction, or we can say supervisory jurisdiction, and at last it also acts as the court of record. First we will study about the original jurisdiction. Some cases can only be heard by the Supreme Court. These cases cannot be initiated in any other courts. The Supreme Court holds original jurisdiction over such cases. Such cases deal with number 1, disputes between the Government of India on one side and one or two states on the other side. Secondly, disputes between two or more states. Third, disputes regarding enforcement of the fundamental right. And at last, cases under public interest litigation, that is PIL. Next jurisdiction is appellate jurisdiction. In India, if a person is not happy with the verdict of a lower court regarding constitutional, civil or criminal cases, then he or she can appeal against it to the higher court. So cases can travel from lower courts to the high courts and then to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is the final court of appeal. Next is advisory jurisdiction. The Supreme Court has a special advisory capacity. Sometimes the President might seek the advice of the Supreme Court on matters which involve the public or those which requires the interpretation of the Constitution. However, the President is not bound to accept the recommendations of the Supreme Court. Court of record. The verdicts and the judgments made by the Supreme Court are kept as record for the reference and used by the lawyers. So it is also acting as the court of record. Say for example, some of the judgments of the Supreme Courts are considered to be as good as the laws. The High Court and the District Court decide cases in light of the judgments passed by the Supreme Court. So students, this is all about the Supreme Court, which acts or works at the national level. Our next courts are High Courts, which works at the state level. High courts are the highest courts at the state level. They function under the supervision of the Supreme Court. Like the Supreme Court, High Courts also exercises different kinds of the jurisdiction. These includes original, appellate and supervisory jurisdiction. A High Court exercises original jurisdiction in cases which involve protection of the fundamental rights, disputes related to the state elections and the cases where interpretation of Constitution is needed. It acts as a court of appeal for the subordinate courts. If a person is unhappy with the verdict of a subordinate court, he or she appeals to the High Court against the verdict. The High Court also supervises the functioning of the subordinate courts. Do you know students, there are 21 High Courts in India. Some High Courts are common for two or more states. Say for example, Punjab and Haryana share a common High Court in Chandigarh, and there is a common High Court at Guwahati for the 7 northeastern states of Assam, Manipur, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Tripura, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. Composition of High Court. Each state has one High Court. The High Court is headed by the Chief Justice of High Court. He is assisted by the other High Court judges. If required, Parliament can increase the number of additional High Court judges to clear the pending cases. Qualification. To be eligible to be a judge of High Court, a person must be a citizen of India and a High Court advocate for at least 10 years. or holder of a judicial office in India for at least 10 years. Tenure. A High Court judge holds office till the age of 62 years. If he or she misuses power, he or she can also be removed by the same process by the President by the process of impeachment. So this is all about the High Courts. Our next courts are the subordinate courts which works at the district level. There are courts at the district level that are subordinate to the High Courts of the state. The court of the district and the session judge is the highest court in a district. When a judge of this court hears civil cases, he is called the district judge. When he or she hears criminal cases, he or she is known as the session judge. So the same court acts as both the district court and the session court. The district session judge of this court is appointed by the governor of the state after consulting the Chief Justice of the State High Court. Next is revenue courts. Revenue courts are those that hear cases which involves the payment of the revenue. The highest revenue court in a state is the Board of Revenue. The highest revenue court in a district is the Court of the Collector. Appeals from these courts are heard in the State High Court. Village Panchayat or Nyay Panchayat. Nyay Panchayat serve as village level courts that settle minor cases of theft and quarrel. They are a part of the Panchayati Raj institution. There is usually one Nyay Panchayat for a group of villages. The members are elected by the Gram Panchayat. Appeals from the Nyay Panchayat is heard at the district courts. Lok Adalats. India has had a long history of resolving disputes through the intervention of the village elders. Lok Adalats are people's court based on the Gandhian principle, which follows very simple procedures to settle petty disputes through conciliation and compromise. These courts are organized from time to time to give speedy justice at a low cost, and there is no court fees also. Lok Adalats are presided over by the sittings of a retired judicial officer, and along with him two other members, also usually a lawyer and a social worker, sits. Some type of the cases the Lok Adalats deals with are like motor vehicle accident cases where the injured has applied for the compensation, land acquisition cases where applications have been made to the government claiming compensation, cases for or against local bodies such as the municipalities and the electricity boards, cases involving commercial banks, matrimonial or maintenance cases, and cases of the consumer grievances. So these are the different type of the cases which are specially dealt in the Lok Adalats. Students, in the last section of your chapter, you have to know the difference between the civil cases and the criminal cases. Court cases can be of two kinds, civil and the criminal. Civil cases deal with the matters such as the property, marriage, inheritance, and the money. Criminal cases deal with the cases of the theft, murder, dacoity, or physical injury. Criminal cases must first be filed with the police as a formal complaint, which is also known as the FIR. Initially, a criminal case is heard in the court of a judicial magistrate. If the accused is pronounced guilty, he or she may appeal to the court of the session judge. If the session judge does not modify the decision, the accused can appeal to the state high court. If the accused is found guilty in the high court also, then he or she can appeal to the highest court in the country, the Supreme Court. So students, this is all about this chapter. I hope you have understood our judicial system. Take care of your health and study well. Thank you.